Hey, what's going on, BSF Army? Welcome back to another video and welcome back to freezing cold London, guys. It is another video here today, but we've got something awesome planned. Ollie, you guys know he is the schedule. He is a scheduled
another great space, guys. So we're going to be at Parkour Generations or Parkour Academy here in London, guys. It's freezing cold, but lucky enough they have a facility indoor before we might do some outdoor stuff. So we're going to be learning the basics of parkour, which you've never done before. And then yet again, it's another great topic to cover and a great sport to try and get into, because it's something that's very different to do your type of cardio work.
But we've never done this before, so we're jumping in straight into doing parkour, guys. We're going to be attempting to run up walls and stuff, so it's going to be funny. And look at the location it's in, guys. O2 as well.
Amazing.
It's in a great location, very quiet around here.
This is parkour. That is parkour.
This is parkour.
Today's video is going to be a good one, guys. We're jumping into something new, and you guys should be doing the same too. You should be jumping into something you've never done before, pushing yourself to your limits and getting outside your comfort zone.
Monday morning, guys, we're back at it again.
We are back at it.
Had a little bit of rest this weekend, so we're going to be putting it all into this week and actually getting the content up and running. So make sure you start your week well, do something productive today. Make sure you set yourself a goal for the end of the week, and make sure you're pushing yourself to achieve new things.
Let's get today's video started.
But I started parkour in 2006. I saw Casino Royale at the cinema, the first of the kind of remade James Bond movies. I'd never seen parkour before that, and at the time I was 15 years old. I was overweight, not really much of a sports person, just a regular kid. I'm from a place called East Grinstead in Sussex.
Oh yeah, I used to play for the football team around.
Oh really? Okay. Football team's not
there's rugby.
Not as well known.
Yeah.
Rugby's a bit more well known there, and apparently the hockey team there is the best in the country or something. I drove past it a few times. So that's the place I'm from. It's a pretty quiet town, or at least it used to be, and parkour was very, very strange to me at the time, and I was amazed by it, obviously, and I googled it online. I was like, I'm never going to teach myself that stuff. How would a person learn this? And it turned out that there were a couple of guys teaching up in London, and they were the founders of this company, but it wasn't this company teaching at the time. It hadn't been created yet. They were working for another outfit, a company called Urban Free Flow, and the guys were Dan and Forrest. Dan Edwards and Francois Mahop, and I came along to a class, and it was amazing. It was 2 hours long. It cost £5, and I had to travel for about 3 hours to get there. I've spent more time in the gym than most gym rats, and I love that stuff, but there's a very big difference as to how it feels. Training in the gym, it has a certain feel to it. It appeals to a certain type of person, and it's a faster method of getting certain things. It's more direct in that way. Parkour has a whole slew of other benefits, things that you could literally never ever experience. No matter how long you spent in the gym, no matter what you did, you would never ever come close to maybe even the most basic parkour lesson. In terms of how it feels in your head, the presence of fear, the emotional intelligence that you have to develop with yourself to understand what goes through your mind, to understand why you're feeling these things, how you can change your mind, how you can control your feelings, or not control really, but I suppose guide, funnel maybe, because you're not trying to pretend like you're not scared. You're not trying to fake being totally fine. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to be experiencing those things, and rather than bottling them up or pretending they don't exist, you have to find a way to express them or let them out, and you do that through movement. Sometimes you have a lot of it, but you have a lot of it in another area, and you need to learn how to kind of transfer that same skill across the board. So the transferability of skills is something that parkour does really well. You take something that you're good at already, take something that you can already do really well, and teach you how to do that, instead of doing it with your family, like having ridiculous amounts of patience, for example, right? And you're like, Grandma, for the last time, I'm not hungry, right? And so you find this kind of special strength in certain areas. Why can you not use that all the time? And it's simply because people don't know a lot of the time how to translate that into new situations. And that's something that parkour does very well, because you have to learn how to take the same energy source and apply it in different ways. And in that sense, it no longer becomes just strength, it becomes flexibility. True resilience is not being so rigid and so hard that you can just resist anything that comes your way. It's your ability to push against things that need to be pushed against, and your ability to move out of the way of things that you just cannot resist. Dealing with things like fear, anxiety, some of those things you just have to sort of step out of the way and let it fly past you. Standing there and taking it head on, a great way to burn out. Use up all your energy, you just run out eventually. Right? Humans are finite creatures. You've only got so much patience, you've only got so much resilience.
So we're just about to start our first session of doing parkour. We're with Flavio now, their coach is going to be taking us through the session. Can you explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing today?
Yeah, so basically the session of today, since you are like beginners new to the practice, will be focused on like a big variety of movements to give you an idea, a general idea of the kind of movements that parkour involves. But obviously as I was saying to you, that in parkour we tend even like try to specialize a little bit on single movements during a single training, because then we want to like push our limits higher than what they are, and that's one of the basic concepts of parkour. But today we're gonna work mainly on movement variety, just to have an idea, a big concept of what parkour is. 10 seconds is even better, but it's up to you. If you find this comfortable, just 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Instead of using right this way, you're gonna use left, and crossing this way. Okay? Same movement, same thing. Okay, but opposite side. Yes, just keep your body going down. Yeah, nice. Okay. And your goal is always is left.
1 or 2 steps.
Yeah, if you can. Yes. Yes. Nice, cool.
Nice.
Cool. Nice. Okay. Doesn't matter the last part of the movement, because we are still working on the first part, and then the speed will come automatically. So down, push. Okay. Keep your body tight. Super good. Really good. Okay.
We're now combining the techniques into like a circuit and almost building our stamina and building our sort of technique as we go around. Just find it actually harder than it looks. A lot of the movements seem really simple on camera, but it's actually getting the technique right to make sure it's safe, and also making sure that we're flowing right and using as least energy as possible, making it as most efficient as we can in order to maintain that strength and power. I've just finished my 3 laps and I'm actually really tired. It's difficult trying to get my breath, but Flavio was just explaining that once we go around, it's having that control from being the fast-paced movements of vaulting and the jumps and the rolls, and now controlling it onto what I got wrong because my balance wasn't that good on here. It's now switching. What do you want to explain it? Because you explained it a bit better than I did.
Yeah, I don't know because of my worse English, but I mean, the goal here is not just working on the efficiency through the route, so making the techniques whilst you are really tired, more efficient with the movements. So like smoothing out the every imperfection of the single techniques. But one of the main goals of these routes is working basically on alternating and switching our mind state between a really quick thinking system that requires us readiness and a lot of speed to a really controlled mind state that allows us to be comfortable and balanced with the on the rail. Okay, so balancing on the rail. So this makes the work much harder. So the rail balancing taken in just on its own will be much easier, but in this system with the breath going really rushing, running, and basically with that really technical skill to keep one foot over in front of the other will be much harder. So yeah, this is the idea.
It was challenging, and having it's that mental switch that we spoke about. It's more than just physical, isn't it? It's more parkour, more than just being physical. It's that mental switch of you've done like the physical work in there, and then coming slowing the mind down, slowing the body down to maintain that balance. Because obviously, if you did something extreme scale, you could be really high up, and that's and slowing yourself down to. Yeah,
basically, the idea is trying to use the body as a tool to work not only on the body itself, but trying to work on our ability to control our behavior, our emotional state. So basically the body actually is not just a tool, but partially it's a tool in order to work on something else. Yeah. So that's one of the ideas of parkour. Yeah. The box opportunity
okay, slow.
You start where you feel. Okay?
Slow this bit right down. You might as well just get it right.
Okay, so if you cross backwards, it will be much harder. Yeah. And my suggestion is don't do that because it's not efficient, but it's a good drill to work on the balance on its own. But now we're gonna work.
Stop crossing.
So this is a variation. If you want to do the normal balancing, one foot in front of the other is fine. Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Right. Under.
Okay. Nice. Okay, last lap. Don't rush. Okay, yeah. Just
slow that
keep the control of every movement.
Last lap.
When you get tired, it's the best way to learn. Okay, so it's the best moment in which you can learn. So just keep moving. Maybe slow down the pace. Yes. When you get tired, it's the time when your body is and your brain is recruiting all the resources that you have and that maybe you don't know you have. Nice, good job.
Whoa. Guys, we are back in the weather. We've just finished up shooting a session at Parkour Generation. We're going to head home now and talk to you guys and explain some of the things we took away from just doing parkour and explain to you guys the benefits of doing it. But we're about to head home now. This is just proof we're back in London, guys. It's absolutely pouring down, cold. We hate being here. We want to be back in Bali, guys.
But it was another good session and another good sport that we haven't done before today. So,
and again, guys, it's that feeling, as Ollie just said, it's that feeling we've just taken away from doing that session. We've come never doing parkour before. We've challenged ourselves. We've got through the door and we've got it done. It feels amazing, and that's what we want to show you guys. The fact that you can and do. You guys can do it too.
Guys, you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be getting creative for what we've done today with the sort of beginner workout for parkour. We're going to actually form this into a session where you guys can do this in the gym or at home, because a lot of the stuff we've done and a lot of the work we've done to start developing the techniques and skills were very quite basic, wasn't it, and simple. So I think we can actually get this to become like a gym workout. I think you can use very minimal equipment or even take it outdoor, and that's exactly what parkour is. It's outdoor, and if you are looking for creative ways or new ways to do some of your strength training and cardio training,